Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. What does a father of 3 kids,
5 kids,
2 kids
have to say about what's going on in the world today in parenting? We'll find out in
3, 2.
Cook it!
No, I don't want any. I want it. Boop, ready to go. I want
Speaking of
third key.
ready to go, here we are with another episode of Hardheaded Podcast. I'm Chet Sears, your host. With me always is Troy, 3-shot Trussell, and Matt,
Here.
broken leg Amos.
It ain't broken no more.
Matt broke his leg on the way to the studio today,
He got it fixed, though.
but his prosthetist showed up and fixed it while he was here.
Shout out People's OP.
That's right. Okay.
On call 24/7.
Got a great episode for you today. We're going to hear what's on Troy's mind. Then we're going to talk about our top 3 dishes that we want to learn how to cook in the year 2024.
2024.
And then Matt's going to close us out with a good word.
Hey, good word. You got. I'm gonna keep watching videos. Keep going.
What are
Well, you're more engaged now than the last time we recorded. Jeez. All right, Troy, what's on your mind?
All right, so my son, about a month and a half ago, asked to go to the library. And my wife usually takes the kids during the summer. They go to the library a bunch, check out books and that kind of thing. So he specifically wanted to go.
What else can you do at the library other than check out books?
Sorry.
Rent music? I don't know. What are you doing over there, Matt?
Sorry. I'm trying to close everything out. It just keeps playing. Go ahead.
Anyway, you can
Your
rent.
son wanted to go to the library.
You can rent books. Sometimes they have somebody read a book to them, and
Okay.
like
Been a while since I've been to a library.
a couple of things you can do.
Are they in drag?
Yeah.
Not at this library.
Okay, I've heard about that.
Yeah, not at this one.
May have been Matt.
I don't do drag.
Anyway, your son was at the library.
Anyway, he really wanted to go because he wanted to check out these books on like jets.
Yeah.
Okay, so he checked out a bunch of them.
Dude, I'm a walking encyclopedia of aircraft
I know.
performance and technology.
I know.
That
Yeah.
was my science fair project.
Oh, nice.
I won
6th grade.
I won a scholarship to the Marine Corps with my science fair at state.
Really?
Oh yeah, I won regionals just about every year in high
Why
school.
didn't you become a Marine?
Huh?
Why weren't you a Marine?
Psh, look at that.
He didn't have the right stuff.
Think I want to hang out with that?
He didn't have what it took.
I didn't like crayons that much.
You were too tall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely one too tall.
Anyway, so he's had these books at home, over Christmas break, and so my wife and I noticed Top Gun Maverick was on Prime, so we watched. She hadn't seen it, so we watched it. And Noah came in about the time they go on the mission at the end, and the 4
Yeah.
FA-18s are flying through the canyon or whatever, and so he's standing there watching it, and he's like, "Oh, can I watch this?" We're like, "Yeah, sure," And so he saw that part, and then he watched the movie again the next day, and then he watched it again the next day, and now he wants to be a Top Gun FA-18 fighter pilot.
Yeah.
And so much so that when I correct the boys, and especially him, he stands at attention. And when I get done, telling them what they did wrong and what they need to do, he'll say yes, sir, and turn around and walk off.
Yes.
I'm like, let's watch Top Gun every day.
Yeah. Have you introduced him to the original?
Not yet, because I haven't had time to sit down with him and watch it. I got to skip over that one scene,
Yeah. Which one?
the bedroom scene.
There's two of those.
Well, there's only one in the original, isn't there?
2.
Well.
Pretty sure it's just one.
Pretty sure there's 2.
All right. It's stuck in.
Well, I mean, he does try to, he goes into the bathroom and like test out the counter. I don't think that he'll catch that.
I don't think he'll catch that either.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's some
And
more.
then Meg Ryan, Take Me to Bed or Lose Me Forever, like Great Balls of Fire.
They're married.
You gotta watch out for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now they did, like, Rooster does drop the F-bomb at the end of the Maverick. And I was like, I forgot about that part. But
Yeah.
they've heard it before.
You forgot about that.
You forgot. Yeah. So what kind of advice from military do you give an 11-year-old that's like wants to go sign up for the Navy tomorrow to be a Top Gun?
First off, don't sign up for the Navy. Go to the Air Force.
Well, he wants to be on Top Gun, you know. He's like, oh, it's Navy.
They're not even going to be flying F-18s when he gets there.
Oh, I know.
It's like, dude,
They're not even going to be flying.
it's all going to be drones.
It's going to be drones, automated. You're going to be flying from a chair.
But Air Force, just go to the Air Force. Does he want to be on a boat 6 months out of the year away from his family?
Oh, probably not.
Go to the Air Force. Like, come on. Like, there's more airplanes to fly.
Well, I've been telling him, like, because one of my good friends is in the Air Force. He's been in 19 years now.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, you spent the night at his house the other night. Did you talk to him? No, we played whatever all day with his two boys.
Well, I will tell you this. This is the advice my dad gave me because I was going to go in.
Matt throws up his
If I had
hands.
$1 for every time I've heard,
That's funny.
I was gonna go.
I had every recruiter out to my house,
Yep.
even the Coast Guard. And
Hey, Matt, I had never any intention of ever joining.
Thank you for being honest.
You're welcome.
And you know you made and are making your
I'm
contribution
being honest
to
too,
society.
even if it's corny. I'm still being honest.
This guy,
So anyway, I'm like, Dad, I'm really wanting to do this, and he said, how bad? And I'm like, what do you mean how bad? He said, if you want to get in and fly,
get your legs blown off bad.
if you want to get in and fly, and you don't get to fly, do you still want to be in the Air Force? And I was like, no, because I'd settled on the Air Force at that time. I'm an Air Force brat, by the
Now
way.
you're too tall to fly.
And that's one thing. It's true.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And then it was like, no. And he said, here's the other thing. The president matters. And this was my dad speaking. You could argue, he can't argue with him because he's not around anymore. When there's a Democratic president, being in the military sucks. And when there's a Republican president, it's pretty good. And he said, and it was Bill Clinton, and he's like, you're going to get in. They're going to lie to you to get you in. And then you're not going to get to do what they said you're going to get to do. Like, that's just how it was. And in the peacetime, because he served from 60 to 86 active duty. And he's just like, hey, I'll just tell you right now, if you want to be in the military, be in the military. If you want to be in the military to be something, like to be a pilot, to fly whatever, don't that's not a good reason to join the military, because you may not be able to do that. Like they're going to tell you can, but you may not. And so I had a buddy, because then it's like, well, the recruiter point blank asked him, can I do that? Can I get in a fighter jet? Yeah, if you get in the Air Force Academy and you can basically write your check anywhere. I had a good friend of mine in Shreveport at our Sunday school class. He was a captain of a B-52, number 2 in his class at the Air Force Academy, and they put him in a B-52. So he couldn't even write his check. He's like, I want to be in a fighter jet. And I was told I go to the Air Force Academy, I can write my check. When I got in the Air Force Academy, they're like, you can't necessarily write your check unless you're in the top 10 of your class. I'm number 2 in my class. They send me to Minot, North Dakota, flying B-52s. And so my dad was right in that case. Like, you have to be careful with who you are, who's running things when you're there, because you never know what's going to be there. That being said, during the Vietnam era, when he was in, opportunity-rich environment. Anybody they can get, and you could do just about anything you wanted to.
Yeah.
At that time. So in wartime, and they need people, come on in. And like right now, recruitment numbers are low in all but the Marine Corps. Did you know this?
I think I heard something about it, but I haven't looked into it.
So the DEI push for the military, they pushed through advertising. So like one of the more recent Army commercials is like a single mom trying to help her daughter, and so she joins the Army.
I saw it when they had it next to the Russian one.
All branches of the military, sans the Marine Corps, have gone that route with advertising, and all their numbers are way low. The only branch of the military whose numbers are meeting or exceeding their targets of recruitment is the Marine Corps, and they've just doubled down on their come be bad to the bone, join the Marines.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Nice.
That's my advice.
Man.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
So growing up, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. And
Here we go. Everybody says that.
So I had
he wasn't smart enough to be in the Air Force, but the Marine Corps took him.
well, I mean, I graduated, near the top of my class. But number one, I went to McConnell because we had a friend that worked there, and I actually got on the simulator for the B-1 bomber, and I got to pilot the B-1 bomber with him in the co-pilot seat.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, here, we're going to do this, and we're going to fly. And it was awesome. As a kid, I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than that. And
unless you're sitting in the cockpit of an A-10, not a simulator. I got to do that.
Did you fly it?
Huh?
Did you fly it?
Yeah. In my mind.
Yeah. And
Close enough.
But the more you find out, then you really get into the details. I was like, well, I can intellectually, I can do it. And I go, I meet the height, weight requirements to do it. My eyesight, because I wore contacts. You couldn't be in a fighter jet because you couldn't have contacts, and they
the G forces.
And then they wouldn't let you at the time have corrective surgery because at the time it was
experimental.
No,
lasers in your eyeballs.
It was LASIK, where they were worried about where they cut coming open when you were pulling G's. So they're worried about that coming apart. And so that basically that was it. Now they have surgery where you can do that and be just perfectly fine. They'll let you fly. So that basically ended it for me. But and even prior to that, I dressed up as G.I. Joe, wanted to be G.I. Joe for Halloween. I don't know how many years in a row I was G.I. Joe, and then it was, I want to be a fighter pilot. I don't want to fly planes. I want to do this. So I'm going to join the Air Force. No. And then I got into high school, and it was like, well, it's, Army or Marines. And, just talking with the recruiters, I knew which one I was going to go to. But then when I finally decided to join at 23 and Chet, they're like, you don't want to go be a grunt with these scores. You want to go do something else. I was like, no, I want to go be a grunt.
Send me to the infantry.
So, went but before I went to all the recruiters' offices and did my due diligence. I talked to the Army, talked to the Navy, talked to the Air Force, and then I saved the Marine Corps.
You didn't talk to the Coast Guard?
No, that's definitely not.
Check all the boxes.
I knew that one. I knew that one wasn't for me. And so Navy, I just got a really bad feel from those guys. I was like, I'm out, man.
Yeah.
Like, appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Air Force, I was just like, nerd, and walked out. And these are like my honest, genuine reactions, right? Nerds. It was like, freaking nerd. And then, then I went to the Army. I was like, you don't want to know what I thought about them. But I was like, dude just was kicked up, his feet were on his desk, and it was like, hey, bro, it was all chill, it was like, hey, man, yeah, we can do this, and we can do this for you, and college and this. And I was like, I really don't care. I just want to go to somewhere and shoot some people, you know? And then I went to the Marine Corps, and they're like, what do you want? And I was like, thinking about joining. They're like, you probably don't got what it takes, and I was like, no, these are my people. Yeah. Right. It was like they're like, we need you, but we're not going to give it to you. Right. Like, you're going to have to earn it. And I appreciated that. And I will say, you could join them, he could join the Marine Corps, even though our selection process for pilots is really stringent. And my neighbor at my hunting property was a Top Gun instructor for a while, which is pretty cool to hear some of his stories. And he advised on the movie Top Gun because he was actually an instructor himself, and was still flying up into his mid 70s.
Oh wow, yeah.
But it's so funny, that whole, just all of it. I don't know, but so I looked at all that stuff, but at the Marine Corps level, because we don't have the Harriers anymore. I forget it's an
It's an F-18.
35 or something like that. No, it's a different.
Oh, the
one.
vertical takeoff.
Because we still
F-35.
have the vertical takeoff. But then you got all your rotary wing, which I know that everybody wants to be a fighter pilot. But I will tell you this: some of those Cobra helicopters and some of those attack helicopters are freaking sweet because they can just hover and launch those rockets. And so I actually had a buddy that went. He was an officer because you have to be an officer to fly, so you got to go to school, get your education, and then join one of the academy. Join the Naval Academy, and then say you want to go to the Marines, and then you want to be a pilot. Well, my buddy did that, and he was extremely smart, and he made it. But they're like, he goes like, well, what happens if I get in and I don't test well enough in pilot school to do this? And they're like, well, you're going to end up.
You're a Marine.
Doing something.
Yeah.
Well, you're still going to be in that arena,
Okay.
But he goes, what are my chances of being an infantry officer, a air officer, or whatever? Because there's different officer corps in the Marine Corps. And but anyway, he took the chance and he ended up making it into the pilot school. But then he got put on rotary, so he's a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
But still pretty awesome. I mean, I think any of those aircraft frames in the Marine Corps are pretty sweet. Anyway, 53s, the big freaking tank of the sky. That's a big just target for bullets. But you got your little escorts with you too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I think it's something to pursue. To be
Definitely don't.
to be passionate about.
Especially if he's showing an inclination that he hasn't towards anything else, man. Don't squash that.
Oh, no,
Let
we're
him
not.
run it.
Yeah, and
Let
then
him
let's
run it.
just start doing drill. Learning to march and doing all that because, that's the absolute worst part of any boot camp is drill. Sucks.
Yep.
Well, good deal.
Good advice.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else out? Want to go sign up after you heard
Sign up, Marine Corps.
All right, we'll be back after this break with our top 3 dishes we're going to want to learn to cook in 2024.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back. Top 3 dishes you want to learn how to cook in 2024. Matt, lead us off, sir.
Oh, my goodness. The top 3, my number 3 is going to be a green herb shakshuka.
Oh, my gosh. How do you spell that?
Shakshuka.
Shaka. Shuka. And
God bless you.
Thank you. It's you're welcome. That guy who sneezed, blessed himself, and said thank you. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I think so.
Every time I sneeze, I think of that guy. I'm actually trying to find it here because it's a pretty complicated dish.
Sounds it's complicated to pronounce.
It is. But it's so the kind of the way that I'm doing it. It's a fusion of Middle Eastern cooking with.
I'm out. You lost me at fusion. I don't do fusion.
With
What's the meat? Help me out here.
there really is no meat. So let me.
Okay, I'm out. I don't do vegetarian dishes.
There we go.
I don't want to listen to a video about this dish.
So it's basically leeks, garlic, cumin, cilantro, dill, parsley, spinach, turmeric, pepper, limes, and then eggs. So it's
Over rice?
no.
I'm out.
But it looks super. Oh, I just lost it. I'll show it to you.
No. What's number 2?
There it is.
No.
So anyway,
Is that bacon on top?
no,
I'm out.
it's Middle Eastern. They don't really use a whole lot of bacon
That's true.
in Middle Eastern dishes.
All right. What's your number 2 there, Matt?
Number 2, hot dogs.
You're going to make your own.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not just
okay.
cook them.
Yeah. So I've studied the process for a couple of years now, down to how you should grind it, and then getting the ice to make sure that it doesn't heat up as you go through the various grinds, to get it down to that texture of a store-bought hot dog.
What meat are you going with here? Deer?
I'm probably going to go. Well,
Beef?
you got to have a lot of pork, a lot of pork fat.
Yeah.
I think it's at least 50% pork fat, and then whatever other meat you're going to use. I think at this point, I've probably got some elk steaks or something like that need to be
Consumed.
that are probably tough anyway.
Yeah.
And when you grind them like this, that really doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do to use those up. So that's coming in 2024. And then the number one thing is one that I've been talking about for a while. Maybe not here, but with family and my brother specifically, because for Christmas, almost every, the last couple of years anyway, my brother has bought me spices to use around, so for whatever I'm making. And so number one is going to be harissa.
Never heard of her.
And it's a North African condiment. So the harissa is what you saw that you said looked like bacon, but that's what they put over the top.
How do you spell harissa?
Harissa. But it's made with
That was great.
red chilies, ancho chilies, clove, cumin, coriander, caraway, tomato paste, dried.
See, you got 2 for 1. You make the shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
The shakshuka.
Yeah,
Shakshuka.
And
Harissa.
the harissa.
And then you're making that with the same to complement that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of like when I made garlic confit. I basically learned to make that in order to do the hummus.
What if you did hot dog shakshuka with harissa?
Who knows? Shakshuka might be really good on a hot dog. It might be
We're on to something.
It might be the new
Might
thing.
be.
I don't know.
I'm back in. If you do it on a hot dog, I'm in.
So, but there's a couple of different types of harissa. And like I said, it's North African. Shakshuka is North African. It's not really Mediterranean. But the harissa is
Mediterranean is North Africa.
well, I mean, not Middle Eastern.
Okay.
But so harissa is spicy.
It's geography.
So when you put it in the jar, it looks almost like a
Hot sauce.
no.
Ketchup. Aioli.
It's kind of chunky, so it's more like
Salsa.
like a
Picante sauce.
like a picante salsa type thing.
Yeah.
But you put that over. I mean, it's super spicy, and then so you put that on top of that shakshuka, and you got a nice spicy dish with eggs, which is a really good breakfast dish.
Yeah.
So that's 2024. That's
Wow.
what's coming.
Number 3, I'm going, Troy.
Do it.
Deli meat. I want a slicer, and I watched a thing just the other day by my bearded butcher friends over on the YouTube channel.
Oh, I watch those guys.
They did.
That's who taught me how to make hot dogs, by the way.
They did a deer roast beef. So they took the roast off of a deer and brined it and smoked it on a Yoder. They're using Yoders now, by the way. Have you noticed that? They got Yoders.
I haven't seen any of the new videos.
And then that joker sliced up that. Oh my God! I'm not a roast beef fan, but I saw that and I'm like, man, oh
I
man,
like roast beef, but it's got to be done right.
That's the I'm not. I typically, it's not done right in my opinion on most of the opportunities I get to eat roast beef. And I saw this and I'm like, I want to do that. Like I want to do that.
It's a lot like what's that Irish one that they do? Corned beef.
Oh, corned beef.
Corned beef hash.
I've hated it my entire life, and then I finally had it done right, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, pastrami's the same way.
Yeah.
Pastrami.
Just got to be done right with most things.
Rubens. I love the Reuben.
Really, it comes down to I want a slicer. Like I want to
Chet.
be able to cut my own.
Dude, I've
got one.
I want one too.
I've got one. Boys.
Hannah and I were literally talking about this
Boys.
the other day.
Dude, you need to get one. Made with meat. Meet me.
Made with meat.
Madewithmeat.com.
Yeah.
They have a 7.5 inch slicer, regular price, $99.
meet your-
bucks.
meet your
Meet your maker. Meet your maker.
Meet your maker.
As in meat, MEAT.
Meetyourmaker.com.
Something like that.
So anyway, you don't even need to go there.
You don't need to do a .com.
You don't even need to go there. I have one. I've got the 10-inch Meet Your Maker slicer. And I was like, you know what? I'm looking at this thing. I was like, I got a leaky cabin roof. What can I sell to help offset some costs?
So while he's thinking that, Chet gets on the phone and is like, Matt, you got one of them slicers for sale? I kid you not. That's what happened, isn't it?
And I said, strangely enough, I do. He said, which one you got? I said, the 10-inch. He goes, too rich for my blood. I said, what?
I didn't even ask him what price it was. I asked him which one he had, and I knew he wasn't going to cut me a deal. So when he's like, I got the 10-inch, I'm like, never mind. I ain't talking to you.
Cut me off.
I did.
But the two, you split it. That's just a little bit more than the little one.
The 7.5 is just going to be just fine.
No, you're going to want more.
No, I'll be just fine.
It's only that big, Chet.
That's good enough.
That's not enough.
That's good enough.
No, not for a big deer roast. For all these big deer you shoot, supposedly.
Supposedly? I got photographic evidence.
Well, them roasts ain't going to fit on there.
Did you get your grinder off of there too?
All my meat processing stuff comes from
Meet Your Maker.
The warranty is the best. I believe in
customer service is awesome. I haven't had to use them, but yeah, dude.
Nice.
In fact, that's all I lack.
Is the slicer?
Well, when you consider everybody on my hunting lease pitching in to get various pieces of equipment, that's the only thing I don't have access to is a slicer. Number 2, étouffée. Of all the stuff I've cooked, I've never cooked my own étouffée.
I tried étouffée 2023.
I've never tried it either. I've cooked gumbo a million times.
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya.
Now, see, I wonder if your secret sauce.
I'm not going to do that. I think it would, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go old school.
I went old school, tried to do it myself. It came out okay. It wasn't great.
It's in my blood, man. I was raised in Louisiana. I can handle a roux.
Do you do a roux with étouffée?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I got that part down.
Yeah. Yep.
I make a mean roux.
There you go. My roux's nice.
You like a dark roux or?
No, I don't like
light?
dark roux. I like light roux.
I like a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a medium as an option, Troy.
I like dark.
I just started asking. You interrupted me.
I did. Medium. I like light, medium, light.
But anyway, I tried to make
medium rare.
I tried to make Cajun meatloaf. I tried to do the Cajun Shack and it didn't come out like Cajun Shack.
No.
I need that recipe.
Yeah.
You need Southern blood.
I'll figure it out.
I have
your
Southern
body.
blood, Chet or Troy, whatever your name is.
All right. Here you go. Number 1.
I'm probably deeper ingrained. I mean, this is Oklahoma, for goodness sake.
I feel, dude, just check yourself.
I'm just saying.
This is going to sound a little bit too much like Matt right now, unfortunately.
He was born in Japan.
The Casoncelli Ravioli.
Casoncelli!
It's like Cousin Shelly. Casoncelli. It is a Northern Italy specific ravioli that's got pork in it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's got some balls.
Oh, here we go.
I do have a story about balls in Northern Italy.
I bet you do.
It's fantastic, and you just finish it. So you make your own pasta. You make your filling primarily pork. It's not like sausage, but it's pork with a couple other seasoning things. Boil that, and then you finish it with Parmesan and butter. There's no red sauce.
Yeah.
Very little red sauce I've had in Italy in general, by the way. But you finish it off with a little butter and Parmesan. So I'm excited about that. I had it. I love it. And I told my one of the guys where I work with, 2 guys from Italy, and one of them's from Bergamo, which is where this recipe came from. And I was like, just so you know, Luca, I have this as one of the things I want to do in 2024. And he's like, I will get you the family recipe. So it's not going to be an internet deal. It's going to be from a Italian family in Italy type deal. So anyway, looking forward to that.
Hey, George Costanza's cousin, her name was Shelley. Cousin
The
Shelley.
the one that he dated to get back at his parents.
The one
for ditching
in
him?
the contest.
Oh.
I don't remember the
Oh my goodness, we
Okay.
just lost half of our listeners.
Yeah. Troy, what about your top
Not
three,
the
man?
Seinfeld fans.
Right up the Seinfeld.
Number 3, an Asian noodle dish.
What's
any?
by the name of?
Any of them?
B8.
B8. At which one?
That's vermicelli noodles.
Vermicelli noodles with, I'll get mine with shrimp and an egg roll. And I would like to learn how to make egg rolls,
Dude.
which I know that they're not that hard. I've just never
My
done.
mom brought that back from Japan.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was famous for her egg rolls, and I don't
Nice.
have a recipe.
Well, I filmed, When Pigs Fly doing their barbecue egg rolls.
Yeah.
So I know how to do the egg roll. I just got to figure out the mix, like
Yeah.
a nice Asian mix in the middle.
I got you.
To have a good egg roll. And actually, Brian's dad might be able to hook me up with that.
I bet he can.
Yep. So that's number 3. Number 2, beef Wellington. I just really want to know how to make one. I've never even had one.
Oh,
It just looks like a really interesting
didn't we talk about this?
steak and
I think we
bake.
talked about this.
He thought that
We
Ashley
didn't
had
talk
already
about it on
made
the show, did we?
I don't know.
I think we did.
Anyway, beef Wellington. I've always wanted to try to make it. So I'm going to do that this year.
Yeah.
And then number 1, have you ever seen the movie Seems Like Old Times?
No, but back to beef Wellington. There's like a lot of mushroom mixture.
I love mushrooms.
Gross. And then pastry.
Yeah.
And then beef. Like, don't. Like, why don't get the 3? I don't get that combination.
I had some vegetables on top of a layer of what was like ranch with some kind of cheese on top of a pastry the other night. And that sounds disgusting, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
So
What
I don't know.
You lost me a mushroom.
Hey man, you don't have to try it.
I'm out. Okay.
And for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. That's right. The Shark Tank.
So have you seen the movie?
I'm sorry. I have not seen the movie.
1980 movie. Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn. It's a movie called Seems Like Old Times.
No.
Well, this whole movie is like this based around this one thing that's going to happen where they have to cook chicken pepperoni for the special guest that's coming to their house.
Okay.
And it's the governor of California. I
Sounds
think.
very much like a plot to an 80s movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so Chevy Chase is Goldie Hawn's ex-husband, and he shows up at their house, and she's like trying to hide him in the upstairs room above the garage the whole time. And it's a comedy, and he comes in and out. It's hysterical. But the whole thing is around this chicken pepperoni that they're cooking for the governor that's coming to visit. And ever since I've seen that movie,
So it's just like a pepperoni made out of chicken meat?
It's chicken pepper. You don't know what it is in the movie because they don't talk about it. They just talk about, and they keep walking through the kitchen and trying it and like, it needs a little more. It's just.
So what is it?
I don't know, but I looked it up.
Okay, well, what is it?
And people have made it. It's an Italian dish. And it's chicken. It's like looks like chicken breast. Looks kind of like a lasagna chicken over noodles
Okay.
with pepperoni.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make it chicken pepperoni. I'm excited.
I'm not big on chicken and pepperoni together, but
You want me to tell you something else? In my travels to Italy, been there. I don't know, quite a few times. I'm actually going there Saturday. Never seen pepperoni. Not there.
Never?
No, it's not
is
on
that
the
an
menu.
American-made Italian
It's
thing?
it's not. I've never seen it on a menu or on any food that I've ever eaten.
what about a meatball?
No.
No meatballs?
No
A
meatballs.
meatball.
It's not as spicy.
They do a spicy salami.
Salami's pepperoni.
Oh, yeah. See, this guy, he keeps grabbing the wine bottle and adding it to the chicken pepperoni every time he comes in. And he's like the limo driver
Okay.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny.
Dude, limo drivers in movies when I was growing up were a lot bigger part of people's lives than what they turned out to be in real life.
Right. Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Back when everybody used to get along, man.
Diavolo is the the pizza that you want to order if you want to get a spicy meat
meatball
on a pizza.
Very well.
Spicy meatball.
All right, Matt, you got a good word for us. This is somewhat disgusting, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize for our top 3. Not appetizing.
What?
Huh? Hot dogs?
Speak for yourself.
I'm
man.
actually looking forward to
It's
that.
gonna be pretty good.
Okay.
Yes, Chet. I do have a good word.
Yes.
Hey, a good word.
Pepperoni.
And
It's not pepperoni.
you know, we just recently, yesterday, matter of fact, celebrated. Some of you did Valentine's Day, and what is Valentine's Day all about, boys?
Saint Valentine.
No, it's not about Saint Valentine.
Hallmark cards.
The heart, right? The heart's the pink, the reds. But what is all that supposed to signify?
Love.
Love, right?
True love.
True love. Now, I think in recent days that word has been perverted.
I love hamburgers.
So
Is that where you're headed?
no, here's what I'm gonna say. Because we, you hear it.
He's doing an awful lot of pointing right now.
You hear it.
He's getting riled up.
You hear it.
Knife hand.
In all the weddings. 1 Corinthians 13, it tells us what love is.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
We did. But it wasn't the verse last week.
Okay.
It was a different verse. This week is that verse. 1 Corinthians 13, which starts 13:4. Love is patient.
Love is kind.
Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. That's going to be key. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. So I'm driving down the road the other day. I see a bumper sticker.
Oh, I thought I was about to get brought into this.
You're close.
Because you passed me the other day and didn't even wave or acknowledge my presence.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No idea.
On K96, I was getting off on Ridge Road. I'm like, oh, there's Matt. Like, you didn't even try to run me off the road or honk or flip me off or anything.
I don't remember. I'm not used to your new truck. I'm used to the gray with the Line X.
Well,
I need to get used to this new truck.
should.
But anyway, so I'm driving along and I see this car
I had it for 2 years.
with a bumper sticker, and to me it's offensive
Okay.
in a couple of ways,
Yeah.
because it's got the rainbow flag, and then it says love is love.
How can the definition of a word be the word?
Love is love, Chet. People just because it sounds cool to say, but let's really break it down and think about that.
Truth is truth.
So now we've got
Lies are lies.
but we've got two places where it's offensive or goes against God's word, because we've taken the meaning of the rainbow and we've turned it into something else that it doesn't mean. And we've taken the word love and we've turned it into something else it doesn't mean, and we've put the same two things on a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
To me,
Proud. I get it. Pride. Took me a little bit.
And so it's all those little things that if you think about them, they're all right there in front of us. God made it really easy, right? And so it's not proud, but anywhere in that, does it say anything about sex?
No, it does not.
Not once is it brought up. But that's what you mean, because I can love you and I can love you, but hey, it's not pride, it's not gay, right?
It's right. It's not. Right. Correct.
So love is love. Thank you.
I thought it was rhetorical for a second, but then I realized with the long
I want to
pause.
make sure that you
Yeah.
understood. But they've perverted it to mean something that it's not. It means that they're basically turning it into love equals sex,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's not the case, because it
And in
says-
1 Corinthians, it tells us what love is.
It tells us exactly what love is, and it's none of those things. And I just found it funny because I was driving along and I'm thinking about this, and and I'm like, And it's also, I go, it's not proud. And then I was like, okay, pride. Huh. There's no, they don't mean love. They mean lust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I say all that to say,
Or pride, or selfishness, or yeah.
So there's a lot of things that love is,
But it's not love.
but there's a lot of things that it's not.
Yeah.
And so make sure that you know what real love is,
Yeah.
and what it's not, and differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny that now we got a rainbow, we got this here, and then we got it pride. I mean, it's like 3 strikes. It's like God just sending the message. If you're really looking, like, yeah, that's totally wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my good word.
Thank you, Matt.
I like it.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.